Okay, let's get started. Good morning, all of you. And I want to just start from where we left yesterday. And hopefully by the end of today, you will or will complete this mixed design. Okay. Just let me close the other one. Okay. So before we proceed further, maybe some overlap may be there. So let's continue going through this. Plain concrete is a composite material composing of cement, aggregate, and water in suitable proportions. We already noted that. In the last few classes, we already noted that. Cement reacts in presence of water to produce complex compounds, which gradually hardens and bonds the aggregate comprising sand and coarse aggregate into a solid mass with time. Fresh concrete exhibit plasticity. That means it can be easily pliable or moldable, and flowability, so that it can be placed into molds of required shape and compacted to form a dense mass. The compacted and hardened concrete is cured in presence of water so that it gains most of its strength within 4 weeks, after which external loads can be applied. So this is anyway repetition of what we covered in the last few days. So now let's for completeness, let's also once again make a note of various cements and other things. Various types of cements have been developed for use in different types of structures. For a detailed study, there is a good book by Nivell. I will show you that. This book, you can go through it, and it's actually recommended book for concrete technology. Okay, more details about properties of concrete, you can actually go through this book. And according to IS 456-2000, types of cements and their suitability for specific situation are just once again briefly shown here. Various types of cements, under what situations you will be using them, and what is the IS code with which that particular cement has to comply with. All the details are given here. So depending on the requirement, we can refer each of these codes. Okay. Starting with the ordinary Portland cement, rapid hardening Portland cement, low heat Portland cement, Portland slag cement, Portland pozzolana cement, sulfate resisting Portland cement, hydrophobic cement, high alumina cement, super sulfated cement. Okay, this is just for completeness. So now we need to also make a note of some special kind of aggregates that we'll be adopting for lightweight concrete as well as high density concrete. So for completeness, again, I am repeating some of the portions we already covered. In concrete, aggregate volume is nearly 75% of the total volume. Hence, the structural behavior of concrete is significantly influenced by the type of aggregates used. And also, in the last 2 classes, we also noted fine aggregate comprises of sand dug out from riverbeds and pits, having particle size from 0.075, or yesterday we noted it as 0.07 mm to 4.75 mm. Okay, this is for fine aggregate. That is nothing but sand. Crushed rock and gravel are generally used for coarse aggregates with maximum size of 10 mm, 20 mm, 40 mm. For reinforced concrete work, 20 and 10 and 20 mm are commonly used. For mass concrete works like dams, large size of aggregates up to 150 mm are used. This already we noted when we referred IS 383. Table 3 is giving you the sizes. Let me see, somebody, I think they want to get. I need to admit somebody, okay? So reinforced concrete work 10 mm, 20 mm are commonly used. For mass concrete works like dams, large size of aggregates up to 150 mm are used. The nominal maximum size of coarse aggregate should be as large as possible, but it should be limited to 1/4 of the minimum thickness of member. This point also we already noted. Now coming to the whatever I intend to cover in today's class. Lightweight and heavyweight aggregates are also used in specific works. Various types of aggregates, their specific gravities, strength, toughness. Toughness of concrete. Toughness of concrete is nothing but its energy absorbing capacity before it actually fractures or cracks appear. So toughness of concrete is going to depend on toughness of aggregate. Okay. Various properties of aggregate like specific gravity, strength, toughness, hardness, soundness, particle size distribution or grading should comply with IS 383. Okay, so now let's note down what are these lightweight aggregates and other things. Crushed rock and gravel aggregate with specific gravity in the range of 2.5 to 2.7. Usually these crushed rock and gravel will have specific gravity in the range of 2.5 to 2. I hope you know what is specific gravity. It's like a part of your high school physics or chemistry. Okay, it's nothing but relative density of this particular material compared with some reference material, usually water. So specific gravity is going to be in the range of 2.5 to 2.7. Yields concrete with a density of range 23 to 24 kilonewton per meter cube. So if the specific gravity of this aggregate is between 2.5 to 2.7, usually it results in this concrete. What actually this means? Suppose you take a concrete, you made some concrete and you casted that concrete into, let's assume you casted it in a cube form. The dimensions of the cube are 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. Okay, and what is its weight going to be? That 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter concrete big cube, what its weight going to be? Roughly or approximately it's going to be 2.4 tons. 2.4 tons. So usually for loading purpose, okay, suppose you want to do some load test on piles and other things, or some for soil stabilization or something, you need to stack up some weight on the top of soil. Usually we are going to put these blocks. These blocks are going to be 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter, and approximately the weight is going to be 2.4 tons each block. So you can calculate what is the total weight that you need to place. If you know, then you can easily find how many number of cubes can be used. Anyway, that is all coming from this. Okay, so the density of concrete is going to be in the range 23 to, even though it's mentioned 24, sometimes we can take it as 25 kilonewton per meter cube. However, special concretes like lightweight, high density required for specific applications can be produced by using suitable aggregates. Lightweight aggregates generally used to produce structural lightweight concrete having a density in the range of 10 to 18 kilonewton per meter cube. You can see here drop in the density of the concrete. Usually the density of concrete is going to be in this range, and if you adopt lightweight aggregates, you can bring it down to this range. And what are these lightweight aggregates? And they are given here: expanded shales, clay and slates produced in a rotary kiln. So it's like an industrial waste or something like that, okay? Expanded shales, or it can be from natural source as well. Expanded shales, clay produced on a sintering grate. Slags expanded mechanically or by water jet process. That is not what foamed slag. Sintered pulverized fuel ash aggregate, LATAG. Okay, these are some of the lightweight materials which can be used as aggregates for making concrete. Let me show you a few of those. I just Googled and found, and I want to share with you that. So these are expanded shales. These are expanded shales, okay? And you already, if you are in some parts of India, you will be seeing these slates. This is what is a slate. Usually used for as a covering the roofs. Okay, expanded shale is this one, and slate is this one, and other foamed slag. This is like an industrial product. And also another one, LATAG. This is also like an industrial product, and you can see here some commercial, industry or some companies are actually marketing this product, lightweight solutions, something like that. Okay, so these are some of the lightweight aggregates, to name a few, and what they actually results. They can be used to produce concrete having lesser density or lightweight. So lightweight concrete is now a firmly established building material having extensive applications in most of the developing and developed countries. The lightweight concrete is used in the block making industry and also in reinforced and pre-stressed concrete constructions. We are not going to go in detail, but just to make a note that to produce lightweight concrete, you need to make use of these, some of these special kind of lightweight aggregates. Okay. Okay. On the other hand, you also need to require high density concrete. High density concrete with a density in the range of 30 to 40 kilonewton per meter cube. The normal concrete density is going to be 23 to 25 or 23 to 24, whereas high density concrete, the density is in the range 30 to 40, even 50 also may be there, depending on the aggregates, okay? Required for the construction of biological shield for atomic reactor. Biological shield is nothing but some kind of protective structure which brings down the radioactive intensity to the levels that are acceptable for humans. Okay, so the radioactivity level usually will be very high. So these can be some special structures will be built, and they are called biological shields, and where we require high density concrete. And made, how do you produce this high density concrete? Using heavy aggregates. Basically, these are all some of the ferrous products or something like that. Magnetite, hematite, limonite, and barytes, and steel punchings. These are all coming from industries. Steel punching is nothing but some kind of the after you do some kind of punching or something, whatever is steel that is coming out, that is steel punchings and shots, steel shots have successfully have been successfully used for producing concrete with the density in the range of 50 to 60 kilonewton per meter. You can see here the density has increased tremendously. And what is the steel punching? That also I found something. I will show you. This is nothing but steel punch. That means when you are punching some steel plate or something, whatever is coming out from the punch location, those are all steel punchings. Okay. Any questions? So now let's go and see the concrete mix proportions. The main objective of concrete mix design is to select optimum proportions of various ingredients of concrete, which will yield fresh concrete of desired workability and hardened concrete possessing the specific characteristic compressive strength and durability. So a priori, before we start doing the mix design, we need to have some idea of what kind of workability we are actually we desire to have for the concrete, and also what is the compressive strength, characteristic compressive strength. We'll see what is this definition. What is this actually, this characteristic word appended to compressive strength, what it actually means, we'll see in a while. And durability. The mix proportion should also satisfy additional requirement of use of minimum possible cement so that maximum economy is achieved in the unit cost of concrete. Okay. In the last classes, we already noted what is definition of workability. It is given in IS 6461. So we are not, anyway, I'm not going to repeat it once again. So let's go and see mixed design. And please note that there are up to M20, you don't need to do any special kind of calculations or anything like that for mixed design. It is already given in IS 456-2000. Table 9 is giving you that one. That is what is reproduced here. That is that kind of thing is called nominal mix. Nominal mix, which is actually given in IS 456 for grades less than M20. Here, Indian Standard Code IS 456-2000 prescribes the proportion of ingredients of concretes for nominal mixes of concrete of grades lower than M20. And this is available in your IS 456-2000. And let's go through this in detail. Grade of concrete, M5. If it is M5, total quantity of dry aggregates by mass per 50 kg of cement to be added as sum of individual masses of fine and coarse aggregate. So total quantity of dry aggregate. What do you mean by dry aggregate? Dry aggregate means it is surface dry. Aggregates should be saturated. Aggregates should not absorb any further water or moisture, because when you use aggregate which is not saturated, then what it's going to do when you add water, some of the water, which basically the purpose of adding water is for chemical reaction to take place, so that you get a good, whatever desired hardened concrete. But out of that water, some water is absorbed by this aggregate. Then whatever water you added actually is not totally going into for that chemical process to take place. So total quantity of dry aggregate, surface dry. And again, aggregate should be saturated and surface dry. Again, if the aggregate is not surface dry, what is going to happen? On the aggregate, some water is going to be there, and as per the code, you are adding already some water. So excess water, it will result in excess water, which also brings down the strength. So the total quantity of dry aggregate, here dry aggregate, the word dry, I want to emphasize, it is surface saturated and surface dry condition. Okay. So this is the total amount of aggregate for 50%, for 50 kg of cement. Usually bag of cement is going to be 50 kg, and for 50 kg of cement, this is the total aggregate that you need to add. Fine aggregate plus coarse aggregate put together. So if it is M5, you need to add 800. In this total aggregate, what is the proportion of fine aggregate? What is the proportion of coarse aggregate? It is given in this table, in this column 3. Generally 1:2. What is 1? What is 2? Fine aggregate is 1, coarse aggregate is 2. But subjective upper limit of 1 to 1.5 and lower limit of 1 to 2.5. And how do we decide? How do we decide? You can start. Please note that mixed design means it's not a single step process. You need to do trial and error. So you start with 1:2, and then cast the cubes, and then test them, and then you see whether really if the strength is more, you can make some adjustment. Okay, so that kind of trial and error you need to do, not only from strength point of view, also from workability point of view. Okay, so for 50 kg of cement, taking surface dry saturated aggregates in the proportion of 1:2, fine aggregate to coarse aggregate, and if it is M5, you add 60 liters of water. 60 liters of water. The quantity of water per 50 kg of cement, it's given in 60 liters. Okay. And subsequently, other things are, I think, are self-explanatory. You can go through them. Any questions here? And this kind of thing, it's ready-made. It's given. No need. You don't need to do any calculations. It's given straight right to you in table 9 of IS 456. So this kind of thing is what is called nominal mix. Okay. Or if you want to have a feel, let me open IS 456. IS 456 table 9. Okay. So this is a straightforward. There is nothing to mixed design. Basically is calculating the proportions of cement aggregates and also water content, how much should be used, and also add mixers if required, all that. That job you don't need to do. IS 456 has already done for you for mixes less than or equal to M20. And please note that there is some issue with this kind of thing. Sometimes if you use these proportions which is given here as per IS 456 table 9, and for a particular, depending on if your quality or fineness of your cement or some aggregate, the aggregates that you are adopting, even though you are basically what is this M20? M20 is 20 MPa is the desired strength after 28 days, after gaining 28 days age. Okay. But sometimes even if your target is M20, it may result in M30 or even much higher, M35 as well. So using this nominal mix, you will not have unless you do trial and error and then correct it. If you use this proportion, sometimes you may achieve more strength. So for a better way of doing this, so that is why it is written here. If you see the previous slide, what it is mentioned, the main objective of concrete mix design is to select optimum proportion of various ingredients of concrete. So that is the basic idea of going for design mix. So anyway, code is giving up to M20, you can make use of this nominal mix, whatever is given in table 9. And if it is beyond that, anyway, you are forced to do this design mix. So let's go through this. For all important works involving large quantity of concrete, it is preferable to use design mix, which results in considerable economy, ensuring required strength. The design mix uses the following parameters: what type of cement, aggregate size and grading. You need to, whatever aggregate you are planning to use, you need to do sieve analysis and then classify it or designate it as per IS 383. And also water cement ratio. Water cement ratio is going to be dictated by the severity or the environmental conditions. Once again, we will see that. Okay, or for completeness, let me show you. IS code is specifying what is the maximum water cement ratio depending on the situation. You can see here. Table 5 is specifying that. Forget about this column, minimum grade of concrete. Forget about the column minimum grade of concrete. Okay. The other two columns, for plain concrete, what is the minimum cement content? What is the maximum water cement ratio for plain concrete as well as for reinforced concrete? That is given in table 5 of IS 456. So for mild exposure, if I told you how to check depending on the site location, you need to get an idea about the exposure depending on the location. And if you classify it as a mild, then minimum cement content for plain concrete 220 kg per meter cube. And whereas the same thing for the same exposure condition, if you want to adopt reinforced concrete, minimum cement content is 300 kg per meter cube. Similarly, maximum water cement ratio, maximum free water cement ratio, 0.6 and 0.55. Here you can see here there is a word free water. Just now I mentioned to you surface dry saturated aggregate. In case the aggregate is not saturated or in case the aggregate is not surface dry, then this free water, whatever this ratio or whatever content of water you get from this ratio, you need to apply some corrections on that. Anyway, depending on the exposure condition, mild, moderate, severe, very severe, extreme, IS 456 table 5 is giving you what should be the minimum cement content, what should be the maximum free water cement ratio for plain concrete as well as reinforced concrete. Okay. So now let's come back to this one. So water cement ratio, the design mix uses the following parameters: type of cement, aggregate sizing, grading, aggregate cement ratio, water cement ratio, aggregate cement ratio, and we'll see it's not required aggregate cement ratio, but we'll see when we solve, when we go through an example, you will understand better. And what is the workability? What workability you want? I told you it depends on the kind of structural member you are actually planning to cast as well as the congestion of reinforcement. and also whether you are using, placing this concrete by hand or by pump, or whether you are using vibrators, all these kind of things. So workability, either you can specify in terms of slump, or you can specify in terms of compacting factor, or this flow parameter or whatever. Okay, so that information is also required for design mix. And relation between mean and maximum strength and standard deviation. I will elaborate on this in a while. You just hold on for this sixth parameter. And finally, what is the grade of concrete you want to actually make? For what grade of concrete you want to do this, all these calculations, design mix. Over the years, several mixed design methods have been developed based on the above parameters. And these are some of the prominent methods: ACI, American Concrete Institute method, British method, Indian Standard method. Anyway, we will not look into 1 and 2. We'll look into the Indian Standard method that is given in IS 10262. And please note that I'm explaining you over, or you may be watching this lecture, but it's difficult. You also need to open your IS 10262 and go through the procedure. Anyway, I will do my best to explain, but after this class or before tomorrow's class, at least have a look at IS 10262, okay, mixed design. So now let's see, the sixth point is there here, relation between mean and maximum strength and standard deviation. And I suggest if you are on your table, if you have a notebook or something like that, you make a note as well. Okay. So let's see this one. Anyway, we'll see in detail after this mixed design is over. We'll see in detail some of the properties of concrete. But immediately we require this compressive strength, and also you need to understand what is characteristic strength, characteristic compressive strength. So the definition is given here. The characteristic strength is defined as strength of material below which not more than 5% of test results are expected to fall. You please make a note of it. Characteristic strength is defined as strength of material. Suppose concrete, what we are going to do as per IS code, IS 456 or IS 516, IS is prescribing that you cast cubes of 150 mm, 150 mm, 150 mm and do the testing, compressive strength test on that. Let's say we have done some, we have taken some cubes and we have done the testing. Then this characteristic strength, what is actually, let's assume we have done 100 cubes, okay? As an example, let's assume we have done 100 cubes. And what is this characteristic strength saying? The definition, not more than 5% of the cubes, not, so I gave you some 100 cubes and ask you to do testing and also tell me what is characteristic strength. In that case, what this definition, what it is saying, you test all the 100 cubes, you note down what is the compressive strength of all the 100 cubes, and then not more than 5% of the cube should have strength less than a particular value. That value you can easily identify once you have all the 100 cube results. So that is basically what it is. Characteristic strength is defined as strength of material below which not more than 5% of the test results are expected to fall. Or in other words, you can also rephrase this definition as characteristic strength is defined as strength of material above which not less than 95% of the test results are expected to, or test results are expected to be more. Okay, so 95% of the test results should be above that value. That is what is characteristic strength. So now the concrete mix should be designed for target strength computed as, please note that M20 or M10 or M30, M40, this is what is characteristic strength. So I want to design a concrete mix having, let's say, M20 or M30, so that characteristic strength value is here, this whatever is there here, you need to substitute 20 MPa or 30 MPa. If you want this characteristic strength, you need to target little bit higher, because concrete is like a man-made material. Okay, you are mixing different materials and doing all that. Lot of human factors involved. So to take care of the uncertainties, we usually target little bit higher value. What is the target value? Target strength is characteristic strength plus 1.65 times standard deviation. I will explain you where this 1.65 is coming. I will explain you. This 1.65 is actually coming from this definition. Not more than 5% of the test results, or not less than 95% of the test results. Definition, from the definition of characteristic strength, that 1.65 is coming, and this 1.65 multiplied by standard deviation. Standard deviation is actually given in IS 10262 for different grades of concrete. Table 1 is giving you that. We'll see that, okay? So now Indian standard code IS 456 specifies characteristic compressive strength of 150 mm³ at the age of 28 days as grade of concrete comprising grade of concrete varying from 15 to 50 Newton per mm², designated as M15 to M50. Anyway, I think I hope this sentence is very clear too, based on whatever explanation I have given. For reinforced concrete, minimum grade of concrete to be used is M20. Okay, so I'll stop after explaining this 1.65, this factor, and then if you have any questions, you let me know. Okay. So now where is this 1.65 is coming from? And before that, this standard deviation. The standard deviation is given in IS 10262. That is the code that we are going to use for mixed design. So that is given in here. Standard deviation. Sorry, I think it's rolling. Standard deviation that you need to use depending on the grade of concrete. So this is a guideline given by the code, assumed standard deviation. And here you can see the note, what note is saying, and this value, this standard deviation is given for different grades of concrete from starting from M10 to M55. And what this note is saying, let's read that. The above values in the sense above standard deviation values correspond to site control having, so in assuming the site, on the site you have proper control or proper storage of cement, weigh batching of all the materials, controlled addition of water, regular checking of all materials, aggregate grading you have done as per IS 383, and moisture content is maintained properly. Let's say I do the mixed design assuming surface dry is fully saturated aggregate, but the actual situation is totally different. Then whatever calculations I am doing is totally like, no, they are not going to reflect the actual situation. So assuming the site control having proper storage of cement, weigh batching of all materials, controlled addition of water, regular checking of all materials, aggregate grading and moisture content, and periodical checking of workability and strength. So assuming this is the standard deviation code is specified. And if you violate any of these, you need to pay penalty for that. Paying penalty in the sense, increase the standard deviation. When you increase the standard deviation, the target strength is going to be much higher. So where there is deviation from the above, the values given in the above table shall be increased by 1 Newton per mm square. 1 MPa, you increase it. Okay. So this is what is given in table 1 of IS 10262. And also IS 10262, I suggest you have to go through this, okay. IS 10262 is showing the same equation that I showed you in this slide. Target strength, let's go through this before we stop for any questions, okay. Target strength for mixed proportionate. In order that not more than the specified proportion of test results are likely to fall below the characteristic strength, the concrete mix has to be proportioned for higher target mean compressive strength. Usually this characteristic strength is usually denoted by FCK. FCK denotes F, subscript CK denotes characteristic strength. Target characteristic or target mean compressive strength is F prime CK. Okay. So what is the target mean compressive strength? Target mean compressive strength is given by F prime CK is equal to FCK plus 1.65 times S. So FCK depends on what grade of concrete you intend to do this mixed design for. And standard deviation depends on the grade of concrete, and it is given in table 1 of IS 10262. So that is how you get this target strength. Okay, this target strength is obtained like that. And characteristic strength, you need to remember the definition. Not more than 5% of the test results should fall below that value, or at least 95% of the test results should be above that value. Either way, you can define either way. Okay, so let's see this 1.65, where this is 1.65 is coming from, or what I already told you, it is actually coming from this 5%, 95%. And you need to, that 1.65 is actually coming from statistical background, okay. So you need to have some statistics background, or at least I will give some explanation. At this stage, if you are unable to understand, that's okay. You can come back to it once you take any probability statistics course, okay. So now let's see this. Figure shows probability density function associated with standard normal variable. This is nothing but probability density function for standard normal variable, and the definitions of characteristic strength of concrete are based upon this function. According to the definition, 95%, sorry, here off, it should be off. 95% of the specimens should possess a strength greater than the characteristic compressive strength of concrete. 95% of the specimens or tested specimens should possess a strength greater than characteristic compressive strength of concrete. And this 1.65 is coming from there. From the probability density function, this corresponds to a value of please note that this probability density function is going to be symmetric. This is a 0 mean value, and if you want 95%, it's going to be minus 1.65 on this side plus 1.65 on this side. Okay, this corresponds to a value of minus 1.65 for standard normal variable. According to IS Indian standard, the target strength of concrete mixture is defined as target strength is equal to FCK plus 1.65 S. S is the standard deviation. And you can read this. The standard deviation S can initially be based on prior experience and later determined from trial results. You don't need to look for this prior experience. IS is already giving you this value. Indian stand IS 10262 table 1 is giving you S value. And depending on the, you can see the note, the description that is given in the note, depending on the actual site condition, if required, you need to modify that standard deviation value. Okay. So before I proceed, I'm going to stop here for a minute. And if you have any question, you please let me know. Any questions? Or Professor Amlan, you have any comment?
I'm waiting for the questions.
Please, all of you students, today class strength is showing as 90. I'm happy for that. And please, you need to open IS 10262, okay? IS 10262, I think it's already 48 minutes after the hour. So I may not be able to fully complete this mixed design, but at least let me start. Anyway, it's good that we have spread it on 2 days, okay?
Okay, I think there was one question that what is the difference between mix and ready mix? See, mix is a conventional proportion of the constituents of concrete, whereas ready mix means it comes from an industrial plant. Typically, these are called ready mix plants. They are set up at different locations of the city. You order them and they will make the concrete for you. That means you don't have to proportion the constituents by yourself. The company is doing that for you. That is called ready mix concrete. If you look into the constructions in our campus now, most of the concrete comes through these trucks, the ready mix trucks. They come in the night and then they pour the concrete for the structures. Yes.
So they use the proportions. What is that? So they use the proportions to get us the. Please, I just whatever Professor Amlan mentioned, I want to add something to that. Please note that even that ready mix, it's like you suppose you want to eat something at you can cook yourself or you can go to the restaurant. The restaurant fellow is also going to supply same thing. Whatever you want, if you want to cook yourself dosa, instead of that you go to restaurant and take that dosa and eat it. Similarly, this ready mix, we can do the design mix calculations and we can mix ourselves. But when the concrete, it becomes the quantity is more, then somebody is doing that mixing and other things, supplying and delivering to our site. That is what this ready mix people are doing. But still they have to do this mixed design, and whatever dosages of coarse aggregate, fine aggregate, cement, water, everything they have to comply with whatever these calculations. And they may have a better control because most of these ready mix plants are computer controlled. So they may have a better control. So that is what the difference is, ready mix. Okay.
See, I want to overemphasize that the strength of concrete varies even within the same batch of concrete. That means, say, if you have a truck of concrete and you make some 50 cube specimens from there, you will be getting different values for the different specimens. And this inherent variability is addressed by this concept of probability distribution function. And what the characteristic strength does is that it ensures that when you use this full load of concrete from the truck, at least 95% of the volume of concrete, you are ensuring the strength. 5% may fall below. See, this is something you are maybe learning for the first time, that civil engineering materials have an inherent variability. And concrete is one of them where we need to be very particular about the use of the characteristic strength and not the mean strength. If you use the mean strength, means 50% of the volume of concrete will have a lower strength than whatever you have specified, and which is not appropriate. Hence, we use this particular quantity called characteristic strength.
Anyway, a few more questions are there. Particularly, do we use rotating drum for ready mix truck to mix concrete substituents from beginning, or we use it just not let the concrete dry? And this is actually another question is, let me see the other question as well. How will ready mix people ensure concrete does not harden before reaching this site? So that is what that rotating drum is actually keep the concrete, like it will be mixing, and depending on the site locations from the where this ready mix plant is, you need to add some corrections on the water content as well. Okay. So let me show you, because time is running out now. It is 53. I'll stop at 55. Let me show you IS 10262. So table 1 of IS 10262 is giving us standard deviation that we need to use for getting the target strength. Once we get the target strength, our actual the calculation part starts. Okay. And also there is another table, table 2. Table 2 gives you maximum water content per cubic meter of concrete for nominal size of aggregate. So you need to have an idea about the size of nominal size of aggregate you are planning to use, and the maximum water content per meter cube of concrete. IS 10262 is giving this table. And please note that this table is assuming something. This table is assuming the aggregates are angular aggregates. Aggregates can be rounded or aggregates can be angular. Okay. Rounded aggregates usually will not are given a choice. Angular aggregates are preferred, because they will have proper bonding and other things. Okay. So this whatever table 2 that is given, water content, that is based on the assumption that angular aggregates and also slump, the slump that is assumed is 25 to 50 mm slump. And if there is a variation from this, if the aggregate is not angular, if the slump that you want is more than 50 mm, then you need to apply corrections on that. Okay. So all the details we'll see in tomorrow's class. So the point I want to make is table 2 is giving you some guidelines, assuming the coarse aggregates are angular, and also assuming the slump is between the range 25 mm to 50 mm. Okay. And how to make use of all that we'll see in next class in detail. And table 3 is giving you volume of coarse aggregate per unit volume of total aggregate for different zones of fine aggregate. So in your total aggregate, in our mixed design calculations, we are going to get the total aggregates. In that total aggregate, what should be the percentage of coarse aggregate? Depending on the different zones of fine aggregate. Yesterday we have seen how to get the zones of fine aggregate: zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4. So once you know what zone of fine aggregate that you are using, then you can make use of this table 3. Okay. Anyway, we'll see more details in tomorrow's class. So this is what we'll be looking at. We here. An example illustrating mixed proportion for concrete of M40 grade. And so grade designation is M40. Type of cement that this design calculations for that type of cement is taken as OPC 43 grade, conforming to this code. And maximum nominal size of aggregate 20 mm, because to make use of that table 2, we need to know what is the maximum nominal size of aggregate. And minimum cement content. Minimum cement content depends on the exposure condition. Okay. minimum cement condition. Actually, the client or whoever the intended user, he himself is defining what is the minimum cement content he want, maximum water cement ratio, and what is the targeted slump, 100 mm. Exposure condition is severe, and the method of concrete placing is pumping, and degree of supervision. You see, table one standard deviation is depending on degree of supervision and other things. Okay, so the degree of supervision is good. And the type of aggregate, it's crushed angular aggregate. This crushed angular aggregate, this information is used in table 2 of this code IS 10262. And also, what is the maximum cement content? Cement that is specified by the user, maximum cement content. And chemical admixture, superplasticizer is being used as a chemical admixture. So for this kind of stipulations that are given, we are going to see the design calculations in tomorrow's class. And maybe later I will give you an assignment where you need to repeat same thing for M25. Okay. So I'll stop with this. I think time is already running out. And if you have any further questions, what I suggest is tomorrow morning, we'll keep some time so you can get clarifications in tomorrow morning. Okay. Any comments, Professor Amlan? Yeah, one last clarification is, so if we want characteristic strength, then do we use target strength for concrete for the purpose? Actually, once you know the characteristic strength, you need to calculate the target strength. That is what we'll be using in our mixed design calculations. So target strength is going to depend on your standard deviation, depending on the grade of concrete. And also that 1.65 is coming from the characteristic strength definition. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Anyway, students are leaving. So thank you very much.